So today was pretty interesting. I had to call T-Mobile because I switched to T-Mobile, and they finally approved because if you had phones that had a payment plan, then they credit you, right? So my credit got approved. I went to the website to go process the promotion, and this by itself was kind of crazy because it gives you a form. It lists what was accepted. So it lists all the submissions you've made. Only one of them was accepted, but that one covered all the ones underneath it. It seemed. So while they rejected the other ones, they accepted the first one. And I won't get into the other issues. Like it says, there's a maximum of $800, but then, this ended up giving me like $900 something back. It was, I don't know. I'm all about consistency in messaging when it comes to websites. So that was one issue. And then I go to submit to get it. They give you, I guess, like a prepaid Visa card or something, or a number. Anyway, I went to go try redeeming it, and it gives you a relatively straightforward form that says enter your phone number, read this agreement if you want, that basically says we're going to give you money, and that's it. Tap I agree, then tap submit, and I imagine bing boom, it should get you a credit card number or some sort of like gift card number. It's something that would be worth the $900 something they're supposed to give me. So first I enter my phone number, hit I agree, and hit submit, and it says we could not validate your information. Please try again. I'm like, well, okay, maybe I entered the wrong phone number. So I try another phone number because I've a number of numbers on my account. I pay for 5 different phones. I try that one. It doesn't work. And now I'm just confused. So I open up like the web developer tools, and the web developer tools, honest to God, show the error occurring. It's a HTTP 400. If you don't know anything about HTTP error codes, I encourage you to go to the website http.cat. Yes, like meow cat. And it'll explain what each of them means. So 400 would be bad request. 401 is unauthorized, etc. So anyway, I look in the console or the response that came from the server. It just says generic pop-up error. That's what is in the JSON. Error, generic pop-up error, description null. It tells me nothing, basically. So anyway, I end up, so I don't know what to do. So I close, I try going back, rebate's gone. So now, like $900 something, as far as I can tell, has disappeared. The form didn't work. Clearly, there's issues with this form. It's not clear what phone number to enter. Like I said, there's a number of phone numbers I could enter that are tied to my account. I entered the numbers that were tied to the rebates. That didn't work. So, and then, to add insult to injury, even though it gives this like weird 400 error, it also appears to have removed my refund from the system. So I called T-Mobile, and I gotta tell you, the people were super nice. Like no one was, someone else with this problem. Maybe I just reached the right people, or T-Mobile's great. I don't know. I'm relatively new to T-Mobile. I don't usually call customer support. But hey, these are people that work super hard. They're trained to solve these kinds of issues, so they're the right people to call. So I call, and they go, well, we do see that your refund is here. I'm like, oh, well, that's good. But you can't access it because of a security concern. You have too many people with access to your account. And I'm like, hold up. I'll worry about $1,000 later. What do you mean people have access to my account? I mean, those aren't words. Being a software engineer, not words I take lightly. And she's not technical, so she can't really, she's not looking at things the way I am. I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, but first thing I think is, what do you mean too many people with access? I should be the only person with access. There's only one login to my account. It's protected through 2FA, blah, 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 should only be one person. So it turns out T-Mobile by default, I guess, gives everyone access to manage the account by default, apparently. And the only way to fix this is through the T-Mobile app. So that was the third string today, was going through the T-Mobile app and trying to figure out this horrifying user experience to ungrant access. And I'll show the photo here shortly, but in order to do it, you have to go, even though you're already logged into the T-Mobile app with biometric authentication, which is already passed as far as I can tell. You then have to log in again. And I guess re-enable biometric authentication, whatever. And then it gives you access to change settings on your account. And then you have to go to I don't remember. It was I don't remember. It was like user permissions and something. But anyway, you end up on the screen. And this screen lists my name like 5 times assigned to each phone number on my account. And then there's checkboxes next to each phone number. None of them are checked. And then there's a button that says like save changes underneath it. And the instructions are, check the items for those that you don't want to have access. And I'm like, okay, I mean, that makes sense, if you're trying to remove things. So what should happen is I should check those items, hit save. It should confirm that it's saved. And then those phone numbers with access should disappear from the list, right, of people who have access. So I go through that process. I check 4 out of the 5. I hit save. It does confirm. And then I scroll down. All 5 checkboxes are still there. 4 of them are selected. And I'm like, did it save? I mean, like, they should have removed. If I'm removing access, I shouldn't have an affirmative checkbox next to things. So anyway, I'm talking to the T-Mobile lady, and she's like, well, we can get tech support on. I'm like, well, she goes, you should also try, logging out and into the app. So I'm like, well, all right, I'll just force quit it. That's going to wipe everything. It should relaunch the app, reload everything, because it should log back in again after I launch the app again, which it appeared to do. The delays seemed appropriate. And I go back, and sure enough, 4 out of the 5 checkboxes are still there and checked. And it finally dawns on me, it's just a horrible UX. Some developer probably didn't care about the user experience of this, and that if you selected items to remove from your account, that those should no longer display on the page. Instead, they just leave them there in whatever state that you check them in. So if it's checked, those users don't have access. And the way I see it, it should be the opposite. It should be check the items for those that you do wish to have access. So you see a check next to the people who do have access, because that's the way you think about things. I don't know if I'm alone in that. So, if you're watching this, go ahead and comment. Tell me, am I nuts? Not because you know me, I'm nuts. Just, am I nuts for thinking that a check is affirmative and that, a checkbox next to an option should mean that it's enabled, not disabled? So anyway, hopefully, I'll probably have to figure out how to edit this on my phone to insert that image. That, or I'll just add it to my Instagram or whatever, so you can see it. But you got to see this screen. At the very least, as a developer, ask yourself, how usable is this screen? Maybe you don't have the power to push back, but I think you should. Just if it's bad, say something. You know, don't just do the job. You know, do it right. You know, or at least try your best to do so. All right, that's my comments for today. Take care.